The housing market is about to fucking crash. The rug about to be pulled out from right underneath us, and I am not buying a house until these prices drop. This is the shit that my colleagues and I are hearing every single day, and I really try not to fault people for feeling that way, especially with what the headlines are feeding us. But the reality is, I have yet to be shown the data that supports those feelings. And that's why today, we're gonna cover 3 reasons why we are not in a housing bubble. Reason number 1, home equity is surging. There is a tremendous amount of home equity across the country. And when we look at home equity and cash out refinances, that data can show us so much. Last year, there was $153 billion pulled out in cash out refinances. That is literally less than half of what was pulled out in 2006 when more than $321 billion was pulled out of the real estate market. The best part of the market crash in 2008 was the lesson that it taught Americans across the country. And as a result, the behavioral change that we see in our nation today. You have to understand that when we look to what happened back then, people were treating their houses like motherfucking piggy banks.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.
People were splashing cash on stupid shit like boats, cars, and rims. And when we look at the economy today, the complete opposite is happening. With home prices continuing to go up, the amount of tappable equity that US mortgage holders have has completely surged. Tappable equity is defined as the amount available for a homeowner to access before hitting a maximum 80% LTV or loan to value ratio. So if you own a home that's $100,000 and you owe 80,000 racks on it, that's 80% LTV. So what do we know based on these stats? LTV is surging right now due to the way that people have been handling themselves over the last 10 years and not treating their homes like ATM machines. Back then, tappable equity was knocking at the door to the tune of about $5 trillion. And today, that figure is sitting somewhere over $7 trillion, which is one of many reasons why we are not in a housing bubble. Reason number 2, forbearance is declining. So when COVID hit in 2020, the government rolled out a forbearance plan, or in other words, a program that allowed homeowners to defer their mortgage payment. And that caused a lot of bigwigs in the economy to project that a tsunami of foreclosures was coming our way. In the last 2 months alone, there have been 400,000 homes that have left the forbearance plan, leaving about 2.3 million people still working through some sort of payment plan with their banks. And if we look at forbearance overall, it has consistently been going down since May of last year. Don't get me wrong, no one is hyped about the 5.2% of homeowners that are trying to get their ducks in a row to pay their mortgage. But at the same time, this is not the wave of foreclosures that everybody seems to be talking about. Shit, let's assume for argument's sake that they all hit the market. All the foreclosures hit the fucking market. Altos Research just put out this dope-ass graph that shows there are about 325,000 people that will be leaving the forbearance program in the next 6 to 9 months that have not worked out a payment program with their banks. Meaning that they are in a situation that could result in a distressed sale or foreclosure. Assuming that all these houses hit the market, we will still have less homes available than we did in 2020. The same year, the whole world was on lockdown. Really understand this with me. If all 325,000 homes hit foreclosure, we will still have less than the 722,000 homes that were available just last year. Our market is so hungry for homes for sale that whatever does pop up is gonna get swallowed up so fast by buyers and investors that the effect on the market will be even less than the gas that you get after a heavy night of birria at the food truck in Huntington Park with that extra side of salsa roja that you knew you weren't supposed to order because you saw the guy behind you in line sweating as a result of it, and now you're in bed just holding your stomach and it's all bad. Reason number 3, the lack of supply. This is the devil's of this mother. This is exactly what is driving the market today, and I want you to say this with me. We are not in a bubble. It is a lack of supply, and I'm gonna tell you why. To put it simply, housing has just not been keeping pace with population growth. In 1950, we have a little bit less than 159 million people across the country. And when we fast forward to today, we have more than 333 million Americans, nearly double, while housing development has been on the complete opposite trajectory. In the last 10 years, we have built just about the same number of homes that we did between 1930 and 1939, but we have doubled in population growth. But on the flip side, we are building houses like that shit is going out of fucking style. Let's compare this to what was happening around the last market correction, because this is definitely what people need to understand the most. As we approach the market crash of 2008, America had 4 record-setting years of units built. But just wait, for the last 13 years, we have been below the 50-year average. And when you look at that in the form of inventory, it is drastically different. Leading up to the crash in 2007, we had 10 months of inventory. Today, that figure is sitting at about 2.1 months of inventory across the country. And in Los Angeles, this number looks even worse, with about 1.7 months of homes available. To better understand what this idea of inventory is, if every buyer out on the market was to find their dream home, it would take just 1.7 months for all of us to run out of homes available. When the market crashed, there was 5 times that many houses available to the people. And this highlights one of the most basic economic principles: demand will drive supply and price. With interest rates as low as they are and so few homes available, it is the perfect storm to explain why the real estate market is doing what it's doing. This is not a bubble, it's a lack of supply. I urge you to share this with that person that you know that thinks the sky is about to fall down. I'm serious, send this to them and take a screenshot of what they say back. I am so curious, so please send it to me and let's keep this conversation going. So drop me a comment below or shoot me a DM. I really do appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.